the Nonprofit Podcast, powered by DonorBox.
I want to start with a word I heard last week that feels just right for where many nonprofit leaders are today. Fragile. Not broken, not defeated, but fragile. That word has been echoing as I speak to board members, founders, fundraisers, especially in the face of recent changes to the federal funding landscape. Today, I want to explore a dilemma that's been bubbling up in these conversations. When is the right time to tell your donors that you need help? Do you speak early or wait until there's a real financial hit? That's the tightrope walk so many leaders are trying to navigate, and that's what we are unpacking today. Welcome to the Nonprofit Podcast. I'm Jena, Education and Community Engagement Manager at DonorBox. We're here each week with practical actions you can use today to increase donations and take your nonprofit to the next level tomorrow. Over the past few months, many nonprofits have found themselves racing with sudden cuts to federal funding, including agencies historically supporting international and community-based efforts. The ripple effects are real, even for organizations that haven't even been directly impacted yet. One consultant I work with said it perfectly. There's a lot of messaging confusion right now. Organizations aren't sure when to say something. The fear, sounding alarmist or missing the moment when donor support could make a difference. I was recently told of a board meeting where this exact topic came up. Half of the board said, let's get ahead of this. And the other half said, let's wait until we know exactly how much we're losing. Both perspectives are valid, but what happens in the meantime? Let's name the tension. Communicating early can feel like you're crying wolf. You might alienate donors or staff if the situation doesn't become as dire as you predict. But waiting, that has its own risks. Donors are surprised, scrambling to understand the urgency, or worst case, already tapped out. There's no one right answer, but I believe we're asking the wrong question. Instead of, should we say something now or later? Maybe the better question is, what kind of message builds trust and transparency regardless of timing? Here's a middle ground I think is worth exploring. You don't have to make a funding ask today, but you can begin a conversation. One that goes something like, we're watching the shifts in funding closely. While we haven't seen major changes to our programs yet, we want you to know that we're preparing and we're committed to staying transparent with you. That's not panic. That is leadership. It's also emotional risk management. You're helping your community stay with you before the numbers turn red. And you give them the gift of time to think, to respond, and to plan with you. So, how do we build messaging that walks that line between preparedness and panic? And how do we do this well? Start with what's true. Don't speculate. Don't dramatize. Share what you do know. Reaffirm your mission and make it easy for donors to engage in ways that match their comfort level. Monthly giving, matching gifts, advocacy, volunteering. I've been on the road attending nonprofit conferences across the states the past few weeks, and here are 4 ideas that have surfaced from my conversations in the field. First, communicate scenarios, not certainty. Let donors in on your strategic planning. Tell them, we're mapping out 3 possible futures and how we'd respond. Okay? Second one, name your values. No matter what happens, we're committed to protecting the dignity of our clients and the jobs of our frontline staff. Third, make small, meaningful asks. Invite them to join your monthly giving circle. Share your story on social or offer expertise as a volunteer. Fourth one, say what you know. Don't overstate or underplay, as I said before. Donors respect honest uncertainty more than vague confidence. And one more actually, and maybe most importantly, remember that fundraising is about community, not crisis. If the only time your donors hear from you is when something's on fire, they will start associating you with smoke. Build trust before the storm, not in the middle of it. So here's where I'll leave us today. There is no perfect moment to ask, but waiting for a crisis is no longer a luxury most of us can afford. But the moment you choose matters because it tells your donors what kind of leader you are. It tells them you're thinking not just about dollars, but about the future. So my invitation is to bring this topic to your next staff meeting. Ask your communications director, your marketing director, whoever it is, if we needed to speak out next week, would we be ready? If your organization is wrestling with this timing dilemma, I would love to hear from you. We are not alone in this. Together, we can help each other think more clearly and act more confidently. So I leave you with one more thing. What story do you need to start telling, and what foundation do you want to lay before the hard moments come? Think about that. And remember, you don't need a full-blown campaign to begin a conversation. You just need a voice, a message, and a mission that matters. Thank you for joining us on the Nonprofit Podcast. I hope you've left with the confidence to take a small step today that will make a big difference tomorrow. Be sure to click the download button on your podcast player, then leave the Nonprofit Podcast a review, or give it a thumbs up if you're listening to the Nonprofit Podcast on YouTube. Your review is a great way to help others find us. You're here to help others. We're here to help you. Until next time, stay steady, stay strong, and most importantly, stay in community.
That warm feeling when you help someone, it's not just happiness, it's fulfillment. And we believe it should be available to everyone, from frontline heroes to first-time fundraisers. Our tools empower you to help others. This is our mission. This is DonorBox, helping you help others.